So, as you might already know, right? So the African Union, the AU, has backed a campaign which seeks to replace how Africa, the map of Africa, is on the global map. They call it the Mercator map, which is the default map used to present countries and stuff like that. And yeah, if you look at that map, right, Africa is very small. Like, other continents are way bigger than Africa. Now, I mean, we all know this has been a strategy for a long time to kind of demise or kind of undermine the population or how big Africa is. So I'm glad that people on the continent and the AU, which is made up of 55 member states, I believe, has decided to back this campaign to correct this this wrong visualization of the continent. Now, I think this is a great idea. I think this is something positive, but I'm waiting to see what is going to happen, right? It's one thing to bring out a campaign and push for it. Everyone is going to talk about it for a couple months, and it's going to die down and it disappears, right? That's what normally happens, which is one of the reasons why I believe that if Africa wants to do something, Africa is huge. Africa has enough countries to put a policy in place that benefits the continent. Africa does not need to look at, Europe or the Americas or wherever. But I'm going to come to that later on. So let's kind of look at what's happening here. So of course, this Mercator map has been developed since the 16th century. It's what is being used, and it's what you're taught in school. Is what affects policies, whether it's aid to the continent, media and various things. That is what is used. They look at Africa, oh, it's small. I think it's even affected the World Cup as well, because I used to always wonder, Africa is so big. Where does Africa have less countries represented in the World Cup than other continents? It's always been a thing. I'm wondering, why is it like, I think they've increased it now, but before it used to be like 5-8 countries from representing the whole of Africa, and then like Europe and the Americas is so many, and North and South America. So I think that it's important. Of course, accurate representation is going to affect the whole. It's going to bring light to a whole bunch of other things, which we all know. We can Google it, we can see. But here's my full chest take on this. So this campaign is going on, and of course, it was headed by some head of state. I think Ibrahim Traoré is one of the front runners that brought this initiative up front, and it's been backed up by the AU member states. It's great. Like I mentioned, it's a great initiative. But my thing is that I believe that Africa should do this on their own. How should they do this, right? In schools. Make sure that the correct maps are being used in schools. When policies that affect the AU, make sure that map is being used. I know it's important to also sell the idea outside, so that when you're outside looking, you understand that you're not looking at a small continent. This continent is big. I know it affects other policies or things that have to do with the World Bank. And I think pertinent organizations that use these maps to determine various things should also use the right map. And I wonder why the World Bank or the IMF and all these world organizations and international organizations don't use the accurate map. Well, you might know why. I think I know why, but it's a story for another day. So, yeah, I think it's a good initiative. I think that is something worth pursuing. But again, most initiatives, by the continent, they come up, people talk about it, it dies off. I think Africa should head this. Begin to put this in your policy, even when you're negotiating with other countries, even when you're bargaining for things. Say, hey, this is not what we're going to use. We're not going to use the Mercator map. We're going to use, I think it's called the equal Earth projection. That's what the accurate map is called, the equal Earth projection map. So make it a policy that in all your dealings with different countries, if they refuse to use the equal Earth projection map, you're not dealing with them. Stand on it and promote it. And by the time you make sure it's your standard, people are going to fall in place because Africa is huge and Africa can influence. So let Africa not wait for other people to adopt it. Make it your standard and people will fall in line. So all in all, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think this is going to change anything when it comes to policy, when it comes to the way Africa is viewed? Or is this just something to distract people on the continent from other things? I know a lot of elections are happening next year on the continent. Nigeria, Cameroon, various countries are going to be, starting their election run. Is this a way to kind of distract people from different things, or is this something that they really want to kind of hone in on? Let me know what you guys think in the comment. Again, like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts, man. Once again, guys, this is Food Chest. Peace.